Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jake and you're watching Dude Ranch DIY. As you can see, we just hooked up the 7x14 Sure-Trac dump trailer to my truck, and we're gonna take this firewood that we loaded up in the last video over to the restaurant and dump and deliver it. So we're gonna hop in the truck. The restaurant's just a couple miles down the road, and we'll see you over there. All right guys, so we are back from the delivery, and as you can see, we are in the wood yard, and I think I got a little bit more daylight left, and I'm gonna spend that time cutting up some more of these logs. I believe Chris is going to be coming over tomorrow after work to give me a hand splitting, so I'd like to get a nice stockpile of rounds over by the splitter so that we can just jump into splitting. But if you guys watched the last video when Gary was here, one of the viewers from the channel, we had a great time over last weekend, and he showed me a couple things, I showed him a few things, but I think the biggest thing that I took away from him coming down here to visit, except for, you know, a lot of great conversation, was his log tong idea for lifting up logs and cutting them. I got a lot of great feedback from you guys in the comments. You guys seem to really like that video with Gary here. So if you haven't seen that, go back. I think it was video number 81. I'll put a little tag or card or whatever they're called up above. But I got a lot of feedback from you guys saying that the log tongs were good. Some of you guys even use the log tongs for yourself. So I've taken all that feedback. I've thought about it quite a bit, as Chris mentioned. And I think I've improved upon it. So I'm going to show you guys what I've done. So as you guys know, I have this 55-inch everything attachments wicked grapple, and it is great. I absolutely love it. It's got a big, wide single lid, picks up logs with ease, clears brush phenomenally. The root rake function on it is also great with those big ripper teeth on the bottom. But the one thing that it doesn't really do all that well was allow me to cut logs when they're up, you know, in the air, in the grapple, because as I mentioned, my trailer's 14 foot long. I cut the logs to about 12 feet. This thing is about, you know, 6 feet wide, or a little over 5 feet wide. And it just doesn't, you know, work very well. By the time I cut two 18-inch rounds off this side and two off that side, I have to drop the log, and then I can get about 3 more. So we were using the log tongs with Gary, and now I have devised my own little system that I'm gonna try here with these 2 cables and these big, you know, links or whatever. I don't even know what they're called, but they're just big, like threaded links. And I have 2 sets of log tongs hanging off the bottom here. And my thinking is that I can, you know, use the grapple to pick up logs out of the pile and bring them over to here where we normally cut. You can see all the sawdust. And then I can grab the logs with the log tongs one at a time, lift them up out of the ground, and with 2 sets of log tongs, it should be a little bit more stable than with just the 1 set like Gary and I were using, and the log was kind of teeter-tottering like a seesaw back and forth. So I'm going to fire up the tractor and give it a shot. Now keep in mind, this is like my first time using the 2 log tongs and second time using the log tongs to do this type of work in general. So I might not get it on the first try, but I think with a little bit of practice, Gary said he gets pretty good at it, and he can sometimes get the one set of log tongs to clamp on to the log without even having to get off the tractor. I don't know about 2 sets, but we're gonna give it a shot here. So we got a nice Norway maple log just laying right here, and I'm gonna try and pick it up. So let's see how it goes. All right, so once I got off the tractor, I was easily able to, position the log tongs on the log, and it's up, fully suspended in the air, nice and level. The tractor picks it up totally fine. I think this could be the ticket, especially if I'm with Chris or somebody else out here helping me in the wood yard. One person could just be on the tractor and the other person can just quickly plop on the log tongs, or you just hop off, and that was super easy. So let's move it over to here and we'll give cutting it a go. Well, all right, for a first trial run, I'd say that went pretty well. As you can see, the 2 rounds that the log tongs were on are still held on by the log tongs, and we got all the rounds, perfect 18-inch pieces. The tree was a little bit cracked, so some of the pieces actually split when I was cutting them, but yeah, that worked better than I thought. It does take a little bit of thinking though, because as you saw, I started on this end here and I cut off 2 rounds, and then the log kind of seesawed to this side because there was more weight on this side. But these 2, rounds that I cut were still up off the ground, even though the log, seesawed a little bit. So I cut these 2, and then I was left with the 2 logs in the middle. So it's just kind of like you have to cut the right log at the right time. I think the next log I'll probably do 1 off one side, 1 off the other, 1 off this side, 1 off that side, and then do the thing in the middle. And in the middle, I didn't cut all the way through. I made 2 cuts, but I didn't cut all the way through either of them. And then I just kind of went back and did a little undercut on the bottom, and they both broke off. And now you can see they're just hanging there. So that worked pretty well. We're gonna grab another log and try it out again. Well, all right, guys, you just saw me cut up the second log. That time I kind of started at one end and then went to the other side to keep it balanced the whole time. It worked really well. Figuring out how to cut the middle is a little bit more tricky, but as you saw, there were basically 3 pieces left. one in each set of tongs and then one in the middle. So I kind of made the 2 cuts on either side like 95% of the way through, and then I did a little undercut on one, and this one fell out. I popped it out of the tongs like so, and then I just did another little undercut on the last 2 pieces that were set in this blue set of tongs here. So it's definitely going to take, you know, just like anything, especially here in the wood yard, as you know, I'm always modifying and trying new things, you know, different little tweaks and stuff to make it more efficient, make the process work better so that I'm more productive, because, you know, as you all know, time is money. But the set of 2 tongs in these cables is working pretty good. The only thing I might change up in the future is maybe shortening these cables so that the boom doesn't have to be quite as high. Although it is kind of nice, now that I'm saying it out loud and thinking about it, it is kind of nice that the grapple is up much past my head when the logs are right here at my waist. You know, if these were shorter, then to have the log at my, you know, waist height, the grapple would be lower and I might be banging my head into it. So now that I'm thinking about it, this length cable might be, you know, perfect. But yeah, I think Chris is going to be coming over tomorrow to help me maybe cut up and split. I didn't get quite as much done in the cutting department as I would have hoped because I was kind of futzing with the cameras and figuring out this whole system here. The sun's going down, but that's all right. Plenty more time. Spring's right around the corner. So that's going to be it for this one. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a big thumbs up if you like the video. Any feedback, questions, comments, put it in the comment section below. I love hearing from you guys. After all, I got this idea, you know, with the 2 tongs from you guys and Gary. So thanks for the idea, Gary. And that's going to be it. So thanks for watching. I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. We'll see you here next time.